वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. Namaste everyone. In today's session we are going to review the Nama Anavadyangi. Until now, Vasinyadi Vak Devatas have been describing each part of Sri Lalitambika in Keshadi Pada Varnanai, from Kesham all the way to Padam. We have four more namas in this Keshadi Pada Varnana, which are Mahalavanya Sevati. We talked about this, Ambal's Lavanyam, unsurpassed beauty, unsurpassed Lavanyam. She's a treasure, Sevati of all the Lavanyas. She's a treasure of all the beauty that there is. Sarvaruna, this in the previous session, we reviewed this Nama, Sarvaruna, which tells Ambal's color, red color, Sarvam Arunam. That's the Sampurna Stula Rupa Varnanai. Then in this session, we are going to review the Nama Anavadyangi, Ambal's Angam. And then there is one more Nama, which is Sarvabharna Bhushita, which we'll be reviewing in the subsequent session. So these four Namas summarizes the total form. Until now, we have been reviewing one after another, how the eyes were, how the lips were, how the hands were, what did she hold in her hands, how was her leg, how was the ornament she wore. So all of these one by one from Keshadipada Varnana we were doing the recitation of her greatness. Now these four namas summarizes the total Sampurna Stula Rupam that Ambal has taken out of kindness. So this is like a total form Varnana, these four namas. And in this session we will review the nama Anavadyangi. Let's first look at the components in this nama. Anavadyam. Avadyam means fault. An-avadyam means faultless. So, Anavadyam. Anavadya Angi. Angi means one who has Angam. How is that Angam? The limbs or of our body. It is without any fault. Faultless Angam. Sri Lalitambika's Angams are flawless. It's faultless. It's just perfect. So, in Srimad Ramayanam, goddess's form is described as Sama Vibhakta Angi. That means every part is perfectly proportioned to the body. The hands are just perfect shape. The face is perfect. Samudrika Lakshanas are written based on Devi's form. So, Sama Vibhaktangi, perfectly portioned Angams. Now, why is this Nama talking about Angams? Because the Angams are something that every being has. There is a difference between our Angam and Sri Lalitambika's Angam. The Angams of every created being has various faults or dosham. In that, they are Anityam, Asatyam and Laukikam. See, for example, when we are given a lifetime, we only live during that lifetime period. Mm? Uh, that means we are not nityam. We don't exist always. Whereas the Parabrahmam, Sri Lalitambika, is nityam. So we are anityam. Sri Lalitambika is nityam. That's the first major thing. So our Angams has dosham in that every created being only lives for a certain time, whereas Sri Lalitambika is always Nityam. In fact, in Vishnu Sahasranama, the very first shloka says, Vishwam Vishnu Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu means who lives in past, present, and future. The Prabhu, the Lord, the Master, who lives in all time frames. Nitya Swarupini. Ambal is Nitya Swarupini, whereas our lifetime is Anityam. So that is the dosham here, but Ambal does not have that dosham. So she is Anavadya Angi because she is Nitya Swarupam. Even in that lifetime that we have, the short lifetime that we have over the various stages, when we progress towards different towards older age, many of our angams will become jadam. That means it becomes unmovable. Many of the angams have dosham or fault. For example, ears will lose their hearing power as we age. The body will ache. The back will ache. So our angam is anithyam. Whereas Ambal does not have any of the doshas like that of any of the created beings. Ambal's angams are Anavadyam. Anavadyam means without any doshas. The Ambal's Angam does not have the doshas of Janma, Mrityu or Jara. Jara means old age. Her Angam does not age. Her Angam does not have any form of Mrityus because she is always ever existent. And she does not have Janma. That means she is Ayonija. She is always there, Nitya Swarupini. So that's the first importance. The next importance is that so Ambar, so we are given a form. When we take a form, we have hands, we have legs, we have eyes, ears, etc. But our shariram is Laukika shariram. That means it is made of panchabhutas, and we can compare our eyes to somebody. He looks like his grandfather. We say that, right? We have an object of comparison, a person to compare. We say, this person and this person are looking like twins. We have somebody to compare in the Laukika, the worldly existence. Whereas Ambal's Angam are incomparable. Her Angams are Aloukikam. Aloukikam means it is beyond the description or comparison of any worldly objects. So, Ambal is Parabrahma Swarupini. That Parabrahmam is formless. That formless Ambal has now taken a form as Sri Lalitambika. So even as Lalitambika, when Ambal takes a Saguna form in various temples like Kanchi Kamakshi, or Madurai Meenakshi, or Kasi Visalakshi, her form is still Parabrahma Swarupam. It is Aloukikam, beyond the description of what we can have as worldly comparison. That's the thing. Our Angam are Laukika Shariram, whereas Ambal's Shariram, Ambal's Angam are Aloukikam. So it is beyond anything that we can compare. Now, um, let's take our Angams are Asatyam. That's the dosham that we have. Whereas Ambal's Angam is Satya Swarupam. Let's see an example for that. For example, Sita Mata is in Ashokavana. At that time, she did not eat any food and she did not shower and she was there for months together. Imagine how our body will be if we do not eat or shower for months and months. We cannot survive. Our angams will decay, right? We are asatya vastu because we are dependent on food and water for our very survival. But Sita Mata was in Ashokavana with no food or shower for months together, yet her angams glittered with great tejas. Even after not eating, even after being in such a very terrible state that she was in. Sage Valmiki says, Ushnena mrinalim tabhyamanam. In the Ashokavana, Mrinali means like lotus stem, lotus stalk, lotus like. Ushnena means like what happens if you put a lotus in a hot sun? Tabhyamanam. Lotus is roasted, tormented by heat. What will happen? The lotus will wrinkle, right? That's the state that she was in. She was tortured by Ravana and all the rest of the people there in Ashokavana. So her state was like Mrinali Ushnena Tapyamanam, just like a lotus would just wilt and get tormented by the heat. She was such a delicate lotus, but she was tormented by the surroundings there in Ashokavana. And she had Deena Vadana. Her face was very tired because she was waiting. When will Sri Rama come? When will Sri Rama come? She was always waiting, so her face was very tired waiting for so long. See, in this state, in Srimad Valmiki Ramayana, the state of Sita Mata here, Valmiki Maharishi would have described her as the daughter of King Janaka. Here she's a princess, right? Sita Mata is a princess. Valmiki could have described Sita Mata as a princess, but he doesn't. Sita Mata is also the Dharma Patni of Sri Rama. So, Sage Valmiki could have said Ayodhya's Maharani. uh, Valmiki does not uses that padam also there. Instead, Sage Valmiki uses Tapaswini as the state for Sita Mata here. Sita Mata appeared like a Tapaswini, says Sage Valmiki. So, even though she didn't eat for months, even though she did not shower, yet, even though she was tormented, yet Sita Mata's state and her Angam was like a tapaswini, says Sage Valmiki. So that means Ambal was shining like a tapaswini, all her angams, the Anavadyangi, right? Without any fault, she had her angams were all glittering, it seems, with great tejas. Anavadyangi means without any doshas. In spite of having all those sufferings, she was Anavadyangi. That means she was Satya Swarupam. She was the embodiment of truth. She was shining in spite of being tormented by everything. Still, Sita Mata was shining as a tapaswini, says Sage Valmiki here. She was blemishless, spotless. Her state was that everybody who looked at her instantly worshipped her. That was her state as a tapaswini because Ambal is Satya Swarupini. So that's the next aspect of Anavadyangi. Her angams are like that it embodies Satyam. So Ambal is Satya Swarupini and hence Ambal is called as Anavadyangi. Now, let's look it from a different perspective. Another example of where the angams or the limbs or the form of the vigraha, that which gives paramanandam. Recently, we all enjoyed the pratishtapana of Sri Rama Vigraha in Ayodhya. So, the Parabrahmam, which is formless, took a Stula Rupam as Sri Rama in Ayodhya with various Angams. So we could go and worship Sri Rama. It had, Rama Vigraha had hands, legs, face, ears, eyes. All of those are Angam, right? So Parabrahmam, which is a formless entity, took her Rupam as Sri Rama. So we can worship Sri Rama in the Vigraha with the various Angas. Now, the sculptor is while the divine sankalpam came that we will all be bestowed with the Vigraha of Sri Rama. Before that, what happened? A sculptor was assigned this task, right? This divine task. The sculptor's first task is to know the dhyana shloka of the deity that is going to be sculpted. In this case, since it was Sri Rama Vigraha, the Shastras say that first the guru of the sculptor, they will tell the dhyana shloka of the deity, dhyana shloka of Sri Rama. So before the sculptor begins, there is just a rock in front of him. There is a huge rock out of which he has to make a sculpture, a vigraham. Now, what the sculptor does is the sculptor internalizes the image of Sri Rama from this dhyana shloka into his mind. So, the divinity that Sri Rama goes inside him because of this dhyana shloka. So, he internalizes the image of Sri Rama per the dhyana shloka as per the Shilpa Sastram. Shilpa Sastram means it's the Shastra that tells how Vigrahas have to be made, what materials have to be used, what the proportion of the Vigraha should be, how the face should be sculpted, what is the proportion of the face to the rest of the body. All of these Angam, Angam should not have any dosham. That's why it's called Anavadyam. Anavadya Angi. That means Angam which has no dosham or no fault, faultless Angam, right? For a sculptor to take a mere rock and to internalize the Dhyana Shloka and to actually bring a Vigraha of Sri Rama before us is possible only because of internalizing that Dhyana Shloka. The Dhyana Shloka will make sure that there is no dosha in the sculpture that the sculptor made. In addition, the Dhyana Shloka of the deity transforms that mere stone into a devoted Vigraha, which brings Sri Rama right in front of our eyes. So when we go to Ayodhya, we see Sri Rama here. We see Sri Rama Vigraha standing right in front of us. And that brings immense joys to anyone who is even thinking about the Angam of Sri Rama. That is Anavadyangi. Now, when we think of Angam, or limbs or parts of the body, so far we have equated it to a physical part, just like we did with Sri Rama's Vigraha that was sculpted. Then we said Sita's Satya Swarupam, Sri Lalitambika's Nitya Swarupam. There is one more aspect of looking at this nama, Anavadyangi. See, anytime we say as Angam, it's not hands or legs or feet or eyes or ears as mere physical parts. It is a divine experience. Anavadya Angam is a divine experience that is to be experienced. Just like the sculptor experienced the Dhyana Shloka of Sri Rama, every one of us have to experience that divinity. That is the other message conveyed in this nama. So, for example, Mother Ganga is worshipped as Anavadyangi. See, Mother Ganga, when we see Ganga Mata flowing, when we see river Ganga flowing, the form is in the form of a divine river, right? We are not seeing a Vigraham when it comes flowing from the mountains. When it comes so forcefully, we see great force of water coming in. So she's in the form of a very divine river, right? She's in the form of water. That river does not have limbs or angams. Yet Mother Ganga is worshipped as Anavadyangi. Why? That means the Nama Anavadyangi does not just refer to the physical features of limbs, but it refers to her divine form that we internalize. Ganga is Bhavani, one who removes all of our papam. She removes all of our dosha. So Anavadyangi means one, it's not that the Lalitambika's Vigraha, so it's not, so when we look at it, we should not say Lalitambika's Vigraha does not have any fault. Instead, we should, that's just a literal interpretation. But the actual fact is that the darshan of that Vigraha will remove all of our faults. The darshan of that Vigraha within our mind will remove all our papas. Right? That is how we have to see this nama. So, for example, when we say Ganga as Pavani, the mere smaranam of Ganga will remove all of our papa, will remove all of our dosha. In fact, when we shower, we tell a sloka and we meditate. What do we say? Gange cha yamune chaiva godavari saraswati narmade sindhu kaveri jalesmin sannidim guru. We say this shloka, we're just taking shower with a ordinary water, but just saying the shloka, we meditate as if we are taking a snanam in Ganga. It is as if we are doing Ganga Snanam every day, bathing in river Ganges. That is how we are imagining by telling the shloka every day. Jalesmin Sannidim Guru. Oh, great rivers. Oh, mighty rivers. O mighty river Ganga, O mighty river Yamuna, O mighty river Godavari, O mighty river Narmada, O mighty river Sindhu, O mighty river Kaveri, O mighty river Saraswati. So we are calling each of those mighty rivers, and what are we saying? O mighty rivers, may you be present in this water that I am showering. What I'm showering? I'm showering. My shower is open, or I have a bucket. I'm taking water and pouring on me. Mere ordinary water. But the smarana to say that this is Ganga, to internalize the divinity of her Angam, of her form. Ganga, that Ganga's form, the Angam goes inside our mind, and we are meditating as if we are doing Ganga Snanam, even though we are taking an ordinary Snanam. So when we take an ordinary shower, it gives us the divinity that we are doing Ganga Snanam. That's why we say Jalesmin Sannudim Guru. Oh, the mightiest rivers, may you be present in this water that I shower. That mere smaranam, thinking of Ganga Mata itself, will remove our papams, and hence she is Anavadyangi. Anavadyangi, hence it's not just a physical part, but it is a divine experience that we internalize. Now, hmm, see, Ambal's Angam are without any doshas, no avadyam, hence Anavadyam. Anavadya Angi, one who has Angam which no faults or no dosham, because her Angams and her forms are Nitya Swarupam, right? They Ambal is present in the past, present, and the future, all three kalas. Ambal is Satya Swarupini, just like we saw with Sita Mata. She shines with that great tejas of Satyam. And Ambal's Shariram is Aloukikam. That means it's beyond the comprehension of worldly comparisons. Right? That Sri Lalitambika has now emerged from Chitagni Kundam with Anavadya Angam. So perfect Vigraha has emerged out of Chidagni Kundam. Now, all the Devatas here are overjoyed in seeing this Rupam of Sri Lalitambika. They first darshan from Keshadi Padam, from head to toe. They are saying, oh, this is Sri Lalitambika, the Parabrahma Swarupini. She has taken a form and come before us. Keshadi Pada Varnana, first from Kesham, from all the way to the head to all the way to the toe. They are darshaning. They are like, they're not, that's not sufficient. Again, again with great overjoy, what they do from Padam all the way to Kesham. So that means from the divine feet all the way to toe. Keshadipadam, Padadi Kesham. They again and again prostrate to Sri Lalitambika, because Vasinyadi Vak Devatas are thus teaching us how to internalize that Ati Saundarya Sampurna Stula Rupam of Sri Lalitambika as Anavadyangi. She is Nitya Swarupam. She is Satya Swarupam. She's that Nitya Swarupam has taken a form, so we can meditate upon her as Anavadyangi in our Hridayams and immerse ourselves in Ambal's Ananda Lahari. That is this Nama Anavadyangi as next steps with Guru's blessings. Let's review the next Nama in Sri Lalita Sahasranama. Loka Samasta Shukino Bhavantu. Thank you so much, everyone.